white people are dangerous. So imagine like you're on a hookup, you're at a white boy's house, and he calls the cops.
Oh yeah.
Like, what do you do?
Hey, I'm Prince Derek Dog.
I'm James.
And this is Just Henry, and welcome to The Key. Today, we're going to be talking about interracial dating. Don't go anywhere.
We're gonna play a game that's called That's So Stereotypical. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna be given a subset of different groups of people, and we're gonna come up with the stereotypes that are most normally associated with them. How does that sound to y'all?
Sounds like fun to me.
Black men.
Big old donkey tingling.
Criminals and sexually pervasive. Well, let me rephrase that. Extremely sexually pervasive. Like they are much more sexually aggressive than other races of people.
Yeah,
right.
Which is a stereotype.
I was gonna say like aggressive.
Yeah, like aggressive.
yeah,
Like
aggressive.
they just see white women and get excited.
I've never gotten that excited about mayo on any sandwich.
That they're faithful.
Huh?
Well, they. Oh, is that fucked up?
It's a stereotype that we are faithful, or a stereotype that we're not.
Because it's not true.
Oh shit.
Wow. So, wow. That went a totally different direction.
Hypersexual.
Yeah, hypersexual.
Yeah.
That they always like trying to steal something. They scam and they got a dirty plan. They up to some no good.
Yeah. They were all city boys. And that's not true.
They all are motherless
children.
That we don't have dads.
Yeah, we don't have dads.
We are all from the hood.
We are very good at sports.
We got 3 or 4 baby mothers.
Gay black men.
Oof.
Ooh.
Messy.
Brunch boots.
Shit! Don't you have a brush boots right now?
What?
No, I don't have a brush boots right now. I refuse. They all got HIV.
Ooh.
That's a stereotype.
The light skinned ones are bottoms, the dark skinned ones are considered tops.
And that they all craft or steal. Black gay men. What's another thing that I hear about black gay men that happens to not be true most of the time?
We all love prides.
That's not true. But it's a stereotype.
A lot of us fuck at prides.
That we're also very hypersexual too.
Yeah.
Which is not true.
White gay men.
They think that they're oppressed. They don't think that they're not racist.
I don't really know anything about them like that.
Stereotype.
They all have small penises.
That they all have money. That's a stereotype.
Right? That they're all
Because people like to believe that people gravitate to white gay men because they can have a sugar daddy or sweet low daddy or splendid daddy or whatever. There's some broke white boys out there. Let's be very clear. You live in New York, you're probably broke.
and that they all do drugs.
Gay Asian men.
But they have little dicks. They are only bottoms. This is not true. I have been fucked by an Asian man and it was amazing.
Really?
Yeah, it was good.
Wow. That they are usually white man's go-to as a partner. To say that they've diversified their dating profile.
Right, and that they're also all femme as well. Like
Right,
the
not
stereotype
all
of that when you see an Asian man portrayed in the media, like they're always very black woman.
They're all not all nerds. They're not all want to be women.
They're not all anime
They're not all doing
enthusiasts.
drags and like doing anime shit. Like running like Naruto, their arms back and shit.
Sounds like a good position to be in. Sometimes.
Like somebody was like holding you and then like you had to run from the dick. They got you in the Naruto. Like you can't. Ooh, I'm like, you can't.
Gay Latino men.
They paint.
Spicy.
That they're all that they're all sassy.
They don't clean. They not clean. They don't.
Is that a stereotype?
What?
That they don't clean?
Yeah, that they paint.
See, I'm
like
a bottom. I don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
That they all act like Ricky Martin or Sofia Vergara.
That they all are uncut. They all have smegma and they don't.
Ooh.
I mean, I've never like it. In the many years of hoeing that I've done, I've never come across smegma.
We love to hear it. They all do drag secretly.
Yeah.
All right, and welcome to The Key. We're going to have a good conversation. So today we're talking about interracial dating and interracial relationships. So what do you think, as far as our culture is concerned, has been a driving force to empower or encourage interracial dating?
I think personally, I think porn perpetuates it in a very horrible way. That because I think the other thing people realize about porn is that porn is a fantasy. Porn is not real. Porn it's I know, right? Porn is to just give you guys something to look at that is around what people may think that people may want to see.
It's only fantasies.
Right, it's only fantasies. But I think that that the problem with porn, to some extent, there's no social political nuance behind it. So when people see black guys having sex with white men, the idea is that we want to do that. A lot of times, for me, being a bottom and being black and being mass presenting because I have tattoos and a beard, that white men hit me up automatically assuming that I'm a top, when my profile will clearly say that I'm a bottom.
There is a notion that for the gay community as a whole, or the LGBTQIA plus community, is that we're supposed to push this narrative of love equals love, and that is supposed to be all inclusive. And so, when you do see things like ads for Macy's, when you have the gay couple, you rarely ever see two black couples together in corporate stuff. You never really get to see a Latino gay couple, in a positive way.
Right.
They romanticize this idea that, well, if you're gonna be gay, this shouldn't matter who you date. As long as it's a man, right?
Diversity is a black couple. Diversity is a Latino couple that is not an Anglo-Latino couple, which is an Afro-Latino couple.
Yeah.
Right. And wonder why we don't talk to you, or you get I hate to say this is a bad pun, you get blackballed in your own community.
True.
Because people don't want to deal with you because you have this boyfriend who you've allowed.
Who's culturally insensitive. That's the word. Culturally insensitive.
As fuck. Jebediah, sit back.
Jebediah.
Sit
That's actually
back.
a biblically Jew name, actually. When I get into certain spaces and I feel like I have to constantly explain myself, I feel like I don't want to be in a position where I have to explain everything to my partner. I want to be in a relationship with someone that is on my team and that we are kind of have a common vision and goal. And there are some things that don't have to be explained.
Yeah.
If I got to spend the first 3 years of our relationship explaining to you why you can't use the same brush, or why I cook my food, with seasoning in it, why you can't say the N-word in this song, and the correct way for you to address, you're not gonna call my mom by her first name.
You're not gonna call my mom if her hair is a wig.
Right.
Those kinds of things, I just don't want to go through that.
Don't touch people's hair. You can't date another white person without explaining things very clearly that this is what you cannot do
to me.
When you come out with me to dinner or to a cookout, do not put raisins in a potato salad, sweetie.
But what if they like raisins in potato salad?
Right.
There are some conscious people on the other side who respect our culture, and they're willing to take it as slow as we want to take it. Mm-hmm. But there's also this prize thing. If you're black or you're a Latino, if you're part of a minority, it's a big deal if you land a white person, or if you get chosen by a white guy.
It's oh my God, you got a white man.
Right. My credit score just went up. The next question is about dating apps. Because we're talking about being culturally insensitive, and we're talking about this whole dating scene that we all have to be a part of. We live in an age where social media and applications are part of that. So do you believe that blocking people on these apps because of them having a race preference is a good thing? Or do you believe that it's preference, or do you believe it's prejudice? What do you feel?
It's preference when you're black, it's prejudice when you're white.
Yep.
Explain.
Black people specifically, I'll speak from my experience, have every right to protect their mental health in their space from white people who can do the same things that they can do the same things that we do, but they can do them without impunity and without getting caught, without going to jail. They can do coke, they can do weed, whatever they want to do. This is a fucking thing. But at the end of the day, it's just white people are systematically dangerous. So I'm not saying in the vein that all white people individually are terrible people, but at the social political structures that things are set up, white people are dangerous. So imagine you're on a hookup, you're at a white boy's house, and he calls the cops.
Oh yeah.
What do? You going to jail. You know you're going to jail.
Why do you call the cops?
I'm just saying.
So like when you say that for a black person to block white people on social media, on those apps, it's for their protection of
like,
safety.
It's on their own safety. Like, you could be killed. I think that white people blocking people of color is prejudice. Like, what are you hiding? What are you guarding yourself from?
You don't think that they don't feel safe in our spaces? Do you think they feel the same way?
I think
white, if they're from the suburbs and they're white, because there are some white people that live in the hood too, because they're poor. There are poor white people.
Oh, very much so.
Do you feel that they feel the same way? Like, okay, well, I can't date Jamal because if I come to Jamal's neighborhood and the wrong person sees me, they may think that I'm out of place and I may get jumped, or I may feel out of place because I may say the wrong thing and get like. Okay, so I mean, do you have a space open that maybe the safety may be a concern for on both sides?
I think that anybody that comes into a room and they are in the minority, they have every right to feel that way. Mm-hmm. But because as a culture, as American culture, things are set up for you to be in your safe space 9 times out of 10 versus my 1 time out of 10.
Right.
So the one moment I have, bitch, and you can't be there, you're gonna have to just deal with it.
So my issue with the whole blocking things on apps. Now, I rarely use apps. Maybe like once a year when I'm like bored. But I haven't had success with using them. So I was like, when you go, it's like, okay, well, maybe this year it may be better. As far as going through and saying, okay, well, I don't want to date this person. I'm not interested in this because they're just based off of their skin color. I find that that's wrong. There may be something that's in your profile that I just may not like. But, you know, as far as experiencing the whole fetishization. Is that a word?
Fetishization.
Did I just make that up, or is it a word?
Fetishization.
The fetishization of black skin and black men in general, where they'll jump in your inbox, and because, like you said, we said earlier in the stereotypes, because you're black, you must be hung. So you're a black man. I want you to give me this BBC.
I look at it from the whole Ed Buck situation. Yeah. As Copeland said in Pocahontas, these white men are dangerous. So it's like anything to protect your well-being, whether it's mental, physical, spiritual, sexual, and emotional.
Right.
I could understand it. It is wrong, and I'm not gonna say it's right.
Do you do it? Do you block people on your apps based off of what they look like?
Well, I don't use apps. Let's get one thing straight.
Period. But let's be clear.
I kind of stay within what I know, within my culture, and whether it's limiting for me or not, it's what I'm comfortable with. The environment I grew up in. It's the culture that I know. We have these shared experiences that I wouldn't have to explain to somebody else, like it was mentioned.
White men are very vocal about what they're attracted to you for, and sometimes that can be very off-putting for me, being such like I'm extroverted, but I'm very reserved, and I don't want to feel fetishized. Like, if I know that the only reason that you're interested in me is because I'm 6'3", and you know that I have, or you think, or you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be in a position where I feel like I'm being fetishized and or used for your own white guilt, because there are some people who will be honest, like, you know, yeah, this is my apology for slavery. My friend got hit up on, I think it was Grindr.
Sounds about white.
Right, and the guy was like, you know, he just hit him like, oh, hey, what are you doing? He's like, oh yeah, well, I'll hit you back in February. He was like, why is that? So I only fuck black men in February.
Stop, you told me this.
I showed you. I was like, now I thought this was a joke or a meme. This really happened to one of my friends. First of all, I told you, that's what I told you dealing with these Caucasoids. But also, I was like in my head, like, no, there are people who really do this. Like, you approach black men because you see us as these sexual objects, and part of your white guilt, you want to bow down, and you think that us fucking you and ramming your hole and is gonna forgive slavery. Like our ancestors are really gonna go up because we're plowing you.
Reparation.
It's not, and I really wish you guys would quit offering it, because it's not. And shame on you black boys that are out there taking advantage of it just because you just like freehold, or because you think they're gonna put you on.
Or put money in your pocket.
Or put money in your pocket.
You're gonna be sitting there looking stupid, ashy, and broke.
It's a great conversation. I hate to stop it, but we have a video response from Maddie Rants.
Hey, what's up? This is Maddie from the Maddie Rants channel here on YouTube. The question is blocking specific ethnicities on dating apps considered preference or prejudice? Well, baby, we all can put this into different categories and columns, but to me, it's a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B. It can be considered a prejudice if the person's intentions are ill in what they're doing when they want to, I guess, see a specific race on a dating app. Now, they could only say, I want to be with this kind of race, or they may have a fetish for a specific race based on what they believe they can get from them. I don't agree with that. Now, if it's preferences because you could be in an area that only shows just one particular person, you may want to change it up so you could see what's in the area and you have a little bit more options to work with here. Again, it's about the person and their intentions behind why they are choosing to only see one specific race.
Well, if my intention is really to just go out there and find BBC, then yes, I'm blocking all the white cocks. Because I'm not looking for you. I'm not checking for you. That's not what I want. If I'm looking out there for my Ricky Martin, then guess what? I may do my filter and
live La Vida Loca.
And live La Vida Loca. You know what I mean? But that also has to do with your intention.
Right.
But what's behind that intention is always my concern, because if I see that, because some people put on their profiles that they only like, and that makes me nervous.
Yeah.
When a person says, oh, I'm only looking for X, Y, and Z, it's like, you know, okay, well, that's a person that has a fetish. I'm gonna stay away from this person because there's nothing else that's gonna be built here. This is only about sex. This is about, you know, getting off whatever fantasy they have in their head, and that's it.
All right, so we're at our next question. So what do you guys think why there's an influx of black gay men dating white gay men?
I feel that it's a proximity to privilege. That's a big part of why a lot of black gay men are dating white gay men, especially seeing how their attitudes are when it comes to other black gay men at times.
Right.
It comes off as very snobbish or better than, and it can be rather off-putting because at the end of the day, you're still one of us. Like, at the end of the day, when you go to a party where you're the minority, you're gonna be looked at as one of us.
But some people believe that there's a perceived novelty in being the only black in the room, and
being a token?
Yeah, because there's a privilege that comes with being a token. You're the one that gets to speak for everybody, right? You represent all the black gays.
Yeah, that ain't me.
Right, you know what I mean? And so,
at all.
Especially with the way that we see interracial couples or interracial gay couples perceived in the media, you know, the black person in the relationship is usually that token black. And it's the well-spoken, the one that's well-to-do, well-educated, and so people want to feel and assume that role. Another reason, too, is we also have to think about the trauma that we inflict on each other within our community, and about how we as black men first, you know, we hold each other accountable in a different way. Like black gays, we interact with each other in a different way than we see other races interacting with each other. You know, if you're the black gay boy that loves anime, that doesn't really, you know, get into the mask culture, because that's the big thing right now. Everybody's want mask for mask and all this. You know, you're not a gym buff, so you don't have the body. You're just a regular, average black person who likes normal stuff. You feel like no one's checking for you, and someone outside of your race may appreciate that in you. Where for us, it's like, well, you're not this sex siren, and so I'm not interested.
Well, you're
in
not.
that.
Wait, well,
You know what I mean?
that's the thing. I think what you're hitting on is that like you're not black enough.
Black enough, mask enough.
No,
or you just
I mean, like,
you don't check.
right.
You don't hit the boxes
What
standard
I'm a
black gay
person.
men want.
There's a psychological nuance going on behind people's dating practices and their choices. And I feel like some people are dating white people for upper mobility, access, money, and power. But there's some people who are dating white people because they have been so hurt by their own people.
Same thing with like church hurt. You know how people like you get hurt in the church, so you leave the church.
Yeah.
Right.
And you don't look back. You're like, you know what? I didn't
know-
like this experience here, so I'm gonna do something else because I'm traumatized here. And I think that maybe for those who do date outside their race, you're absolutely correct that they may be so traumatized with the experiences they've had with their own people that they feel safer.
Right, and it's not like I find that some guys who date for upper mobility do systemically internally hate black people or hate their blackness. And once again, as we all agree, no as an issue here, queer millennial, with y'all dating outside your race, do what you want. It's your penis, it's your vagina, do what you want. It's your body. Autonomy we're all here for it. But I think that you need to do some introspection and self-checking to figure out why you are dating outside of your race and why you're not dating within your race, unless you are particularly in an area like Maddie Rance has said about you not having access to your own people at large. I get that, but for us living in the New Jersey, New York tri-state area with Connecticut, like there's an abundance of black folks.
Well, I think that's a great place for us to put a pin in it. We had a great conversation about interracial dating, and I think something we all can take away is that it's always about intention, right? So I want to thank you guys for joining us today. Thank you, Henry, for stopping by. Can you tell people where we can find you?
My name is Just X Henry. You can find me on Twitter, JUST, the letter X. HENRY is the same on Instagram as well.
And we always love when you stop by. You can follow us on Instagram at Queered Millennial, follow us on Twitter at QueeredM, and we want you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Drop some comments because we want you to be part of the conversation. I'm Prince Derek Dog.
And I'm James.
And this has been The Key. Thank you all for watching. Bye.